Hello, I'm Tracy Chambers from Silversmithing for the Soul, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make these beautiful silver earrings. First step is with your silver, whatever size that silver is, just mark that on your piece of paper. First of all, I often just trace around it, and then you can figure out from there which size circles. So I'm using my circle template to mark my circles. These come in really handy, and a felt tip pen as well. So I'm going to see which size circles will fit in there. I think I'm just going to do with the pencil. I could probably go a little bit bigger than that one. I want to make them a bit big. I think that'll be nice. As big as they can be. Maybe even that one. And then I'm going to just use my black felt tip pen once I've figured out which size to use. There, to do the final outline. Okay, so now that I've got my black circles drawn, I'm going to cut those out. Make sure you leave a little bit of paper around the black line, because you need to follow the black line with your saw. So there needs to be, you need to be able to see the whole line with a bit of spare paper on the edge. So just cut, when you cut your line, just keep a little bit of paper on the edge like that. Okay, now the next step is to glue this paper cutout onto your silver. The silver's got plastic on both sides, so take the plastic off of one side and glue your discs. Just make sure they're going to fit. We don't want any of the edges hanging over the edge of the silver. If they are too big, then you'll just go backwards a step and draw up some smaller circles. They seem to be fine, so I'm just going to, just with a normal glue stick, using plenty of glue. Don't be spongy with the glue, because if they start to come unstuck in the middle of cutting them out, it's really annoying. So just stick that on with plenty of glue so that it's all on and nothing's hanging over the edge. So that goes right to the edge there, but that's okay because the black line doesn't actually hit the edge. Okay, these are going to be lovely earrings. Okay, so we just need to leave that to dry for a few minutes now. Okay, now that our glue has dried and that's the paper's nice and dry there, we're going to start cutting out the circles with our jeweler's saw. I've got a 3/0 saw blade in here, and it's nice and tight. There should be a nice ping. I'm going to rest my saw blade against the saw peg in a little groove and bring the metal over to the saw blade, and just do some nice up and down strokes until you get a little groove cut, and then move it out into this V section of the sawing peg. And then I'm going to be following the outside of the black line in my mind as I'm sawing up and down all the way around both of these circles. Now this is the part that I love the most. I usually drift off into my own little world. It's sort of like a meditation. So I hope you enjoy this process as well. Great, one circle's cut out. Okay, now I'm going to cut out the second circle. So resting my saw blade in a little groove in the sawing peg, I'll just cut into that silver sheet, then move it out into that V, and off I go again, my little meditation. As I come off the edge here, I want to cut into the wood and make sure no fingers are in the way. There we go. So, got my second circle cut out now. Great. So the next step is to file, if you've got a metal file, just file those edges. There's a few burrs on there. I went off a bit too much in my meditation and I wasn't exactly following that black line. And it doesn't really matter because it's going to have a handmade look, which is, so it doesn't look like it's been stamped from a machine, which is why we make these beautiful things. Okay, so that just gives a little bit more shape, gets rid of a few of those teeth marks from the saw. Okay, so we'll take off now the plastic for both sides and try and peel the paper off. I usually soak it in water, but I think it will just peel off. There we go. Sometimes this can be hard to get off this plastic, it needs some fingernails. Alright. Okay, now you've got your two silver discs with, got the plastic off of both sides, yep. So I can feel a little burr around the edge and I'm going to use my emery paper just to go over that on both, like just to sort of chamfer each edge so that I don't feel that burr anymore. Yeah, so it's a bit smoother. Now we've got these beautiful silver discs. We're going to get the wooden block and your hammer And the stamp, oh, this is exciting. This is very exciting. Now we're going to put these silver discs on this wooden block and stamp the pattern. I am going to just measure how far out that stamp goes and figure out how I want my pattern to look. I think I would like my pattern to, I'm going to just draw a few of the lines, because sometimes when you start stamping, you get carried away and at the end it doesn't quite turn out how you thought it might have at the beginning. So I'm just going to put some lines in just for reference, and then I'm going to stamp those lines with the stamp, holding the stamp upright at a 90-degree angle, and just stamping, hitting the stamp or the tool, the chisel, whatever it's called, with the hammer, just straight down with quite a bit of force. There we go. Might actually need to do it a bit harder than that. And move on to the next one. And the next one. And the next one. And the next one. Oops. Oh, it's exciting. As you can see, it's sort of curled up a bit, which I really like. Oh, that looks beautiful. And look how the light reflects on it. Great. Okay, let's do the next one. Just remembering where we sort of drew our lines. You can make any pattern you like, but I really like this pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, what have I done? That's why we draw the lines, so we can match the pattern as well. Oh, great. I can never wait to rub off the lines and see what beautiful patterns you've created. Oh, wow, they look a bit like starfish. I think I want to do one more, actually. One more line on this one. Just here. Looks like I've missed one. In fact, you could go round as many times as you like and put as many lines as you like. But I think I like them just how they are. Okay, great. Now the next step is to drill our holes. So if you could take a centre punch, I forgot to tell you a centre punch at the beginning, or you could actually use an old, like a big nail even, if you don't have a centre punch. Let's just work out where we want our holes to go for our hooks and mark that with a felt tip pen. About 2 to 3 millimeters away from the edge. Let's just mark that noise is my little dog walking around seeing what I'm up to. So let's just mark that with a centre punch mark. Shoot those dots, and taking your drill and you're putting your safety goggles on. I've got glasses on, but if you don't wear glasses, put your safety goggles on. Let's put that drill bit in there, make it nice and tight, and just holding the drill bit at a 90-degree angle to the silver, and holding it nice and firm so it doesn't spin. That's the most important part, actually. Just gently drill through that silver until you can feel it go into the wood. You don't have to do it fast or hard, just gently, and lift it up. The most important thing is to hold it firm so it doesn't spin around. Okay, there we go, one hole's drilled. And the next one, so just holding your drill bit up at a right angle, holding the piece of silver nice and firm, and then just almost let the weight of the drill push the drill bit down. Just nice and gentle. And you can hear I haven't even got it on full strength. Now what happened there is it twisted out of my hand, so I stopped straight away. Like I couldn't hold it anymore, it twisted up. So I stopped drilling, and now I can just gently remove that from the drill bit. You just have to be careful because that could really bend up and hurt you. So just gently take that off. Okay, great. Now we've got the holes drilled. Now taking that emery paper, let's just emery off. There's a little burr on both sides there where we drilled those holes. So we're just going to sand those off like that. And we can get to that inside one as well. Oh, these look great. Oh, they're really great. So now we need to grab our earring hooks and 2 sets of pliers. So with one set of pliers, just holding sort of there, the edge of that circle and part of the hook, and then just turning that one down, that side of that little circle down, so that you can put this in. Oop, and see, I've got it round the wrong way, so I need to turn that over. It's so easy to do. Sometimes I do it like 4 or 5 times before I get it right. Done it again. There we go. So once again, just holding the edge of that and the earring hook if you can, and just putting that back down so it meets up and it's nice and flat and it's got a nice close there. There we go, there's one. And the same with this one, holding onto the edge of that. And just flicking that one up. Putting that on. Oh, gosh, I did it again. There we go, the right way round. And just flick that down again so that there's a nice join here. You might even need to squeeze that in slightly. There we go, so that one's attached too. And we have 2 beautiful silver earrings with stamped, sort of like a sun pattern. It's beautiful. They also almost look like sea urchins as well. There we go, and they're beautiful. Now I've also got some steel wool. I'm going to just try and rub the surface with the steel wool and give them a bit of a shine up and see how that looks. In fact, it's actually giving them a slightly different surface finish than what there was, because the silver was already quite shiny. This is sort of dulling it off and making it a little bit matte. And you can go around in circles. the harder you press, you'll see the effects of it. This is a good way to finish off jewellery if you haven't got a polisher, because it gives quite a nice effect. The other thing you can use is green, those green dish scourers with some soapy water. They make a nice surface finish as well. Oh, these are really cool. I love these. So what I would love is if you've watched this video and if you've got, if you've made these and I would love to see your version of them. You might have more lines marked or less lines marked or a different pattern marked. I would love it if you could tag me in your photo if you put it on social media. I love seeing what other people make. Oh, fantastic. They look great. Ooh, new pair of earrings to wear. There we go.